Right, guys? So let me announce one small announcement to the online people. So all the online students are requested to open your books and start. We are starting the session now. Come on, ma. Right. So I'll clarify your doubts after the session is over. I'll spend some time to the online students to clarify your doubts. So please make sure that you should concentrate well on my today's class. Fine, ma. So let us move forward. Yesterday is a first session which I started with the basic discussion about the Python. Basic discussion about the Python. That is, what are the applications which we can develop with which language? Python language. How many applications we can develop with Python language? So do you remember or forget, ma? Remembered or forget? Right. So I'm going to write in today's class, our agenda is discussing about, we are entering into the programming first of all. Before that, we are discussing about the historical discussion about the Python for a few minutes. So I'm not going to start about in which place it is designed and which time, birthday celebrations, all those things are not there. I'll be telling as a part of the historical development regarding how to download the Python software, who is maintaining the Python software, and at least who is a developer of Python, in which year the Python software is developed, how many versions of Python are there. We are going to discuss that part. Later I will be starting here features of Python. That is, slowly we are entering into the programming. Okay, now directly beginning programmatic statements, I don't want to go for it. Okay, slowly we will come to the programming part. So before going to the session, I'm just going to say you last class what I discussed it for 2 minutes. If any newcomers are there in my class, they also will understand what I discussed in the last class. Right, ma? So what I said, real-time applications developed with which language? Developed by which language? Python. So what are our applications which we can develop with Python? Carefully try to understand, guys, and try to respond also in my class. So number one, I will write part by part. You try to understand all of you. Try to understand all of you. I'm going to write many boxes like this. If you are going on saying, I'll go on writing here one by one in the class. One by one in the class. These are all called varieties of applications we can develop with Python, which we discussed in last class. Right? Carefully try to observe it and don't try to understand the drawing of my mind, and try to get quickly and try to say immediately. Okay, start. So I'm going to ask you, what is the first application development, ma? Very good. Let us just, I put so many boxes. First application is what? Web application development. Web application development. Done with which language? Python language. The code we write in web application development is called what? Python. I told yesterday, with Java you can develop, with .NET also you can develop. But why Python is more popular now? Because easy to write the coding. That's why Python is most popular and easy to write it. And the second application, please. Very good. GUI application. GUI application development is a second. What? Console-based applications. Console-based applications. Console-based applications. Next, please. Come on, please. Very good. Software development building tools. Software development building tools. Dear students, don't worry about this entire terminology. I will be giving in my regular class about, I will talk about these words. I'll give the notes also for this. Nothing to worry about that. Right. Next, what is the next one? Come on. Very good. Business applications. Business applications. Business applications. As a part of that, I said you business applications as well as standard applications. Business applications are what? ERP, e-commerce applications. There are some examples which I said yesterday. The coding of this will be written with what? Python language. Next, please. Come on. Data science applications. Data science applications with what? Artificial intelligence, with machine learning. With what? Machine learning. I will write machine learning. Machine learning. That is N. That is mixed with that. Machine learning. Machine learning. Right? And next is called what? Very good. Scientific application development. Scientific applications. NASA, NSA, ISRO, and CIA, DIA, some abbreviated forms I said, some intelligence agencies there, security agencies there, the code behind that. And we need not to worry about how to write the coding, sir. That are all algorithms are there. Suppose random number generation is there, for example. To generate the random number, internally what is there? There is a beautiful algorithms are there. Even that algorithm I will name it. And you need not to know that algorithm. You need to know the algorithm function is there directly. That function we will use it. Yesterday I have seen that generating the calendar. Generating the calendar. Simple or easy? We don't know the logic of it. But we got that output with what? Libraries, modules. Next please. Come on. Audio and video based applications. Video based applications. Apps. Next is called what, ma? Image processing applications. Image processing applications. Image processing applications. Just for a minute. Image processing applications. Image processing applications. Next is what? Come on. 3D. That is 3D what? CAD based applications. Based apps. Next is called what? Next is called what? Networking with if you remember it, networking with what? IoT. Remembering that? IoT. Of course I did not write, but I named it. Networking with IoT. Internet of Things. All home appliances are interconnected together and then starts working with some help of sensors. Sensors programming also most suitable in Python programming. Next, I'll be writing here, if you try to catch me, testing level we are using. Testing with Selenium. Actually, Selenium is one of the part in testing, where we used to write the coding earlier with what? Java. Nowadays they are using what? Slowly? Python. Because compared to Java, Python usage is going to be so simple language. Next, one more I can write it. I can use it in where? Healthcare sector also. What is that? Healthcare sector. So I can write healthcare sector. I can write here healthcare sector. Healthcare sector. These many number of applications we can develop it. Healthcare sector. Healthcare sector. See, these are all called what? Various applications we can develop with which language? Python language. So this itself is enough to make you to understand how Python is going to be good. So irrespective of these many number of domains, the most important stuff is what? How to write the coding well. And still I can write one more, web scraping. Have you heard about web scraping? What we search in website today, tomorrow it is coming in Amazon or Flipkart, you are getting that product what you searched as an advertisement for you. Have you seen that? Web scraping means what? The business application people will read the content from the websites. That's known as what? Web scraping or web harvesting we can call. That is also one of the facility which we can develop using what language? Python language. Are you able to get my points? So if somebody asks you, what are the various applications we can develop in real time about Python? These many number of applications I can develop with which language? Python language. So I can say these are all called various applications you can develop with Python. So if anybody is new today, you can just think of these many number of Python based applications we can write it. That means once we know coding very well, we can get an opportunity to work any one of this area in the real world. So all these things to work in this level of areas, first we must know what? Coding. That is our dream. Yesterday only you said that writing coding is easy or difficult? Come on, openly speak. Difficult. Generally, not only you take anybody, which I am seeing from last 23 years onwards. Program means what? Student will jump. When we give any assignment to the student, out of 300 students, only 100 students will write a homework and they will come. Rest of the 200 people will say what? Sir, time is not there, sir. Time is there, but logic is not there. That's the main problem. So escaping nature, no? I will give suitable assignments for you. If you are very sincere student, want to come up like anything, solve it. If not, I will be giving some type of solutions for you for that assignments. We'll do many more things in the class. Shall I move forward? What this diagram makes you to understand? Real-time applications we develop with Python, which we come across some regular important question in interviews. Shall I move to forward? Right. Let us go to the next point. So I'm taking one small confirmation from the students. All the online students, are you able to understand these applications? Please raise the hands. Hand symbol. See, let us see how the people are raising the hands. Online students, you are not speaking at all. See how they are alert, going on raising. Right, very good. Okay, over. Already raised so many people. 143 people are there. 143 people are there. Okay, enough. Now I am going to start with another concept called what? Historical development of Python. Okay, na? So anybody want to note it down this? Or already noted yesterday? Want to note down or yesterday already noted? Already noted. Right. Now I am going for. Okay guys, next I will go for one more thing. Write down the heading. History of Python. Or you can write like this. History, I don't like the word. I don't write like the word. What is Python? You write the heading. What is Python? Don't take it as a question, just subheading you write it. What is Python? All of you. What is Python? All the online students are requested to open the notes and keep the heading. What is Python? Now I are going to slowly entering into the programming part. Listen very carefully. Right, ma? Look at that. First listen. Python is one of the general purpose. Listen, don't write ma. General purpose, comma, high level, comma, object oriented, and interpreted programming language. If somebody asks you tomorrow, technically speaking, we are having compiler based programming languages, interpreter based programming languages. Yesterday I come to know half of the students in the class is having a small doubt. What is the doubt? Sir, we are from different non-technical background. Are we able to understand Python or not? Dear students, I am saying only one thing to you. You make a note of it on the top of the book. After my course is over, after 10 days or 15 days, you see what confidence you will gain. I said the same word to the students yesterday. Today also I am saying, right on the top of the page, take my signature, I will sign today itself. That much beautiful programmer I will prepare it. provided 3 things you have to do. Yesterday I told you. Punctuality in attending class, practicing and reading my notes. If anyone is not doing, I am not responsible for it. Beginning only I am saying. If you do everything what I said 3 things, I am fully responsible. I am with you. I will give my number. Even if you get the job, you can be with contact with me. There is no doubt. I am fully responsible for your things. Right. So if somebody says, what is Python? Python is one of the general purpose programming language. Sir, what is general purpose? Simple word you can understand. A Python language can be used everywhere else as on today. Python is everywhere. That is a slogan. I shown almost 11 to 12 real-time applications. Even it is crossing in that area. It is crossing even Java also. Even though I am from pure Java background, last 5 years we are dealing with the Python. Even Python is crossed in more number of real-time applications as on today if you see. Okay. General purpose. What is this high-level programming language? Nothing but what? Looking like an English language statements. Yesterday, calendar.month. Even an illiterate can understand what it will give you. In a calendar, month will be displayed. It's looking like what statement? English. If it is Java coding, Gregorian calendar dot new instance dot get instance dot method is called what? Current month. See how much big line I wrote. It is very complex to write the coding in Java, and it is what? Easy to write the code in Java. Are you getting my point? Yes. Next is called what? Object oriented. This is one of the backbone for Java programming, guys. This is where students are getting problem in facing interviews. Facing interviews. As on today, OOPS. What is the full form of OOPS? Object oriented programming. Yes. That yes. You are unable to say. Oops, you are saying oops, na? What is that yes? Because I taken your weakness yesterday. Whatever I am asking, you are saying full form only, right or not? OS means operating system. That, this, etc. Total full forms you are. Gold medalist, I gave one gold medal also for you. What is oops full form? Yes. Not only you, most of the people are not aware of it. Not only you, most of the people are not aware of it. Even a small incident I will tell you. Try to listen very carefully. When I was BE in Usman University, one examiner came. All the online students are requested to listen this story carefully. One examiner came from different university. He asked a question to everybody. What is OOPS? What is OOPS? Like you, what is OS? Operating system. What is OOPS? Full form. We are not greater than you. You are greater. That time also we used to say full form only. Full form we said. I said what, my roll number is 11. That time. Object oriented programming system, I said. System. S stands for system. The examiner said wrong. Only one question is asking, go. I went out. And my friend is coming, roll number 12. He is asking, in the middle of it, he will ask, exchange the knowledge. He will not go immediately. He asked, what questions the examiner is asking. I said, what is OOPS? Even my previous student also, what is the same question is coming for everybody. So I said this question, what you answered? Object oriented system, I answered, I said. My friend asked what he said. Wrong, he said. Then my friend asked me, what should I answer? System. In place of system, you say structure, you say. I said, either system or structure. We read somewhere. I said to my friend, when he said wrong to me, at least my friend will get my some marks. So my friend entered. What is OOPS? He said structure, object oriented programming, structure. Said wrong. So every student is saying wrong. 60 students, 60 wrong. Only over 60, 30 minutes over. Then I have small exciting. When should I know the full form of OOPS? He came out after the exam is over and he is taking the bike. I went there. Sir, you asked one question called what is OOPS? So what is the full form, sir? Exam is over, you allotted marks and everything is over. Now you tell me the answer I asked. He said, what you answered? I said my answer. He said wrong. I said, no, he is giving a small smile also. And my friend is also there, sir, I answered this. What is the exact answer? We don't know. Please tell me. He said, what do you know? You'll really wonder. Don't be that much serious. So he said, what do you know? He said, I don't know, he said. He said that I don't know. Then why he should ask the question? We felt so much tension or not? Then I asked, sir, how many marks you give? 49, 50, 49, 50. For everybody, 49, 50, 49, 50. Out of 50 marks. Thanks to God, you don't know the answer. He asked a question and it is our own choice to answer anything. So, system, structure, these are not correct terminology. As on today, whether you believe it or not, as a real-time programmer, I am saying some questions, simple principles of OOPS are coming. Simple means don't think the word called simple. In the class, I will show you in real time what will be the principles followed in OOPS. Once you know object-oriented principles well, you will do wonders in the Python programming. Okay, I will explain very shortly. That is starting with advanced Python. Core Python plus advanced Python. In advanced Python, purely what? Object-oriented programming we will come across. Okay, we will come across. And next is what? Interpreted programming language. It is not a compiler-based programming language. Sir, what is an interpretation? During the interpretation, what is happening? This is called what? Steps for executing the Python program. Steps for executing the Python program. How many steps are there? You take any student and ask this question. How many steps are there to execute the Python program? As on today, I did not see from 5 years onwards. Internally, what is happening? What code is generated? How the code is internally read? How the result is coming? Are you getting my point? Fine. Anyhow, whatever is happened, happened. At least from now, BTech is over, everything is over. At least from now, you please try to concentrate well what I am going to talk. So this word called general purpose, high level language, object oriented, interpreted programming language, I am going to explain as a part of features of Python. In the features of Python, one of the feature is what? Python is one of the interpreted based programming language. What is interpretation? I will explain the steps. What is object oriented? I will explain the object oriented principles implemented with which language? Python language. What is high level? I will explain. What is general purpose? I will explain. At this moment, keep it quiet. Next, I am writing this Python language developed by, I am writing developed by, look at, developed by Guido van Rossum. What is that? Guido van Rossum. Who is the father of Python? Guido van Rossum. You also try to write those points one by one. Slowly try to write. Listen, but try to write whenever you find the time. Who developed Python? Don't concentrate fully on that word. Whenever you find the time, you write it. Who developed Python? Guido van Rossum. Now, 2 days back, when my 9 o'clock batch is started, one of the student is coming and asking, who developed Python, sir? I said Rossum. No, sir, my sir said that GVR. That means they are creating their own full forms. G. I understood, oh, this is the knowledge of the people. Like this. This is how the people are mismanipulating the students. Shortcut, we can call it as, who is this? Guido van Rossum. At which place it is developed? It is developed by Guido van Rossum at CWI. It is one of the company in Netherlands. CWI in Netherlands. Of course, it's not necessary, but as a teacher, I would like to share with you the historical meaning for a few minutes. Netherlands. In the year 1991 February. It is developed in the year 1991 February. And still date you want 20th or 21st it is remembering, and we need not to do any birthday celebrations for it. Just remember, in which year Python has developed it? 1991. Which country? Netherlands. Who is the father of Python? Guido van Rossum. Just call it as Rossum. Very nice. Dear students, this Python software can be downloaded. Python software can be downloaded freely. Downloaded freely from www.python.org. Python.org. Carefully try to write it. Carefully try to write it. All the online students are recommended to write it. Downloaded freely from where? www.python.org. Please look into that once. After finishing that, please look into that. Now I am going for website now. www.python.org. I am going for a website. So let me go to the website here. Whether internet connection is there or not, I should see this. So here, www.python.org. www.python.org. See that website, ma? There you are unable to see, you can see here. So there is an option here called what? Downloads. There is an option called what? Downloads. What is the version here? Come on, all of you. 3.9.2. What is the current version industry is using? 3.9.2. It can work on any of the OS. Windows OS, Macintosh OS, other kind of platforms also it can OS. In all types of operating systems, this software can be downloaded and it can start working it. Hence, Python is what language? Platform independent or platform dependent? Platform independent. I will tell you one beautiful property. What is the concept behind platform independent? What is a platform? Type of OS being used to run my application is called what? Platform. Are you getting my point? So I will click on this place, click on that place. Whenever I click, see, I'm going to click. I'm showing you the download immediately. All of you try to understand. Click on that. When you click on that, you see within fraction of seconds, this will be downloaded. Are you seeing this bottom place? Right? Now you see, mom, it is, when you click on that, it is asking you, do you want to run this file? Whatever is downloaded, you can say, click on that, you will get what? Do you want to run this file? Say what? Run. All of you after going to home, immediately you do the work. Run. Now, it is asking here, upgrade 3.9.2. See, here, this is already in my system. Already it was installed. This was already installed in my system. When you are installing newly, you will be getting one type of checkbox. You check it, click, add to the path you say. If you check it, it will be add to the path. Click on next. Successfully, Python software will be installed. Are you getting my point? Downloading Python software is easy or difficult? Easy. From which website? www.python.org. Stand up once. Yes. Need to listen the class. Okay? Sit backside. Don't sit both of you at one place. Sit there. Okay, listen the class. Okay? Fine. So, coming to the point of it. So, we understood how to download this software. So, this is called what? Official website for what? Python website. Right. I'm closing this part and come out of that. Now, I'll continue my concept here. Now, this Python software having two versions. Python is having two types of versions. Now, I'm writing here. Look at that. Python software having two versions. Number one, the very old version before this is coming, that is called what? Look at Python 2.x, and the second one is called what? Python 3.x. Python 2.x and next is what? Python 3.x. The Python 2.x, where the x stands for 1, 2, 3, so on, 4, so on. That is a Python 2.1, Python 2.2, Python 2.3, etc. so on. So this is called outdated version now. Outdated version this is called outdated version. Are you following my point? This is known as outdated version. As on today we are not using it. As on today we are not using it. This version of Python we are not using it. This is completely outdated. So that's why we are going to use, 1 minute, ma. That's why we are not using this type of version. So if you carefully follow, just 1 minute, ma, give me one time. I have some small OTP. Right, ma. Coming to the point of it, this is outdated totally. This version is totally outdated. Python 3.x came, where this x stands for 1, 2, 3, so on up to where 9 as on today. This is what industry is using now. Industry used version is this part. Industry used version is this type of things we are using it. What is an industry used version? Python 3.9. Python 3.9. Python 2.x is totally outdated. And one more point you need to remember is Python 3.x doesn't have the backward compatibility with what? Python 2.x. What is the meaning of it? Suppose if you take previous programming languages like Java 1.14 is going on. Even 1.15 is also there. 1.15 is having compatibility with 1.14. 1.14 is having backward compatibility with all the previous versions. And Python is also having what? Backward compatibility, people will expect it. But Python software doesn't have any backward compatibility. That means Python 3.x versions are completely different from where? Python 2.x. Python 3.x is completely different from Python 2.x. So I'm writing, this is one of the small question you will come across in the industry. How many versions are there in the Python? Is it supporting backward compatibility or not? So Python does not have backward compatibility. So I'm writing here, Python does not support what? Backward compatibility. Backward compatibility. So backward compatibility. This is the another point. This Python software, as on today, this Python software is maintained by one of the non-commercial organization. The Python software is maintained by non-commercial organization. Non-commercial organization. What is a non-commercial organization? Which doesn't take any profits from the professionals. That is known as what? Non-commercial organization. If you take Java programming, Java is also one of the open source, but in the industry we use what? Open JDK, which is commercial as on today. So I'm writing next, Python software, I'm writing here, Python software maintained by non-commercial organizations. Non-commercial organization called Python Software Foundation. Python Software Foundation. Python Software Foundation, that is known as what? PSF. So which company is maintaining this Python software upgradations, all types of all types of maintenance and all those things? Python Software Foundation. All the updations are available in a website called what? Python.org. Who is the founder of this Python? Right. Next up, this Python software is having lot of flavors that I'm going to discuss in the distributions of Python. Distributions of Python language we are going to discuss. So this is comes under what? Small historical definition of what? some small historical meaning of what is Python language. Is it clear for you? So what is the version we are using in Python? 3.9. And the backward compatibility is applied or not applied? Not applied. So which company is maintaining this Python software? Python Software Foundation. Right. After this is a general discussion where student can remember the website name and how to download it. I shown you just now in the class. Now we are going to enter into features of Python. Slowly we are entering into the programming that is known as what? Features of Python language. Write down the heading, all of you. Features of Python. Features of Python. All of you write down the heading. Features of Python. Features of Python language. What are the various features of Python language? We are going to discuss in the class. Look at that carefully. Now I am going to say here, now we are going to say, what are the various features of Python here? First of all, features are nothing but what? We learned C programming. We learned C++ programming. If you take any student who is completing this BTech and all those things, who doesn't know anything, they don't know anything, but they'll do what? Something they feel that they know everything. But if you take them, even spellings also don't know. So if you come to this point, what are the features of C language, which is developed by Dennis Ritchie? We learned some programming language already in our career. Which type of programming language you learned first starting your career? C. What are the features you learned already? Is anybody knows? Not even one feature also student knows. But if you take, what is that? OOPS concept is there in where, my dear student? Object oriented from C++ onwards. C language is what? One of the procedure oriented programming language. My dear student, you should have this knowledge. C is what? Functional programming language. There is a procedure oriented. If you say object oriented programming, what people can think we can't believe it. So here around 15 features are there in C language. 15 features, not able to say even one feature also. That is as on today's standards. And people should listen to the entire lectures, then only they will get the total knowledge. Okay. C++ if you take. What are the features of C++ which are used in telecom based applications? People are not aware of it. Features means what? First of all, services. Provided by what? Language developers. In languages to develop what? Real-time applications. If you take Java, it provides almost 13 features which we use in real-time to develop what? Real-time applications. Something like that. Python also will offers some special services for you. What are those services? What we are going to learn it? I'm going to explain that. So I'm going to say features of a language. I'm just writing some small description. Features of a language are nothing but services or facilities provided by language developers. Provided by whom? Language developers. In Python, what facilities are provided, what services are provided by ROSM, we are going to see that. Developed by language developers. Language developers in the languages which are used by what? Language programmers. Language programmers for developing what applications? For developing real-time applications. Real-time applications. Real-time applications. For developing these real-time applications, we need to learn certain type of features. What are those features? I am going to give you one by one in the class. One by one in the class. So let us learn what are those features in the class. So try to note it down this point. Features of a language are nothing but services or facilities provided by the language developers in the language, which are used by language programmers for developing real-time applications. How many real-time applications I already shown you? More than 11 to 12 applications I explained, I shown you already. Right? Now, what are those features? Now I am going to write. So let me give one small example for you to make you to understand quickly in the class. Suppose service or facility is nothing but something like this. Suppose you take your mobile. With mobile, I just want to connect to my laptop and I want to browse the net. Which feature must be known in your mobile? Hotspot is a facility or the service provided by our mobile. Then only I can do my work. If I don't know that facility in my mobile, definitely I cannot connect to my laptop. So if I know the features very well, then only I can do these facilities. Otherwise we cannot do it all. Are you getting my point? So coming to the point back, which I am going to say, Python programming provides a lot of features. What are those features? I am just writing one by one. Listen. Right. See, some of the students will sit sometime and they will leave. Because these are all from what? Different institute people, these are all. So those people, 2 people came. They are not students actually. They are not students. 2 people came and I made them separate, right? They are not students. They are from different institutes. They will come in every batch. Even they came to my morning batch also 10 days back. They will come and see how many students are there and they will gather the information. They will say to that institute people. So these are all institute sending people who are sitting sometime without notebook and all. They will be just message carriers. That is one job for them. So like that they are surviving. No problem. But at least if they keep silent in the class and if they start learning Python, they need not to. This is messenger job. Messenger job for 1 year, 2 years. After responsible person, is it a Java? No, no. So we need to learn Python. They went out already. I know they will sit only for a few minutes. That's why I separated them. By seeing the person, I can decide it. Okay, right. Try to understand more. So Python provides what? Some features. What is the first feature? Listen. Python is one of the simple and easy to learn. Listen first, don't write. For a few minutes you listen. Python is simple and easy to learn. Easy to learn. So in what way Python is simple, sir? In this I am going to explain. In what way Python is simple. I am going to explain some technical factors for it. Technical factors regarding what? Garbage collector. Regarding what? Modules. I am going to give some wonderful definitions there. Okay, listen, don't write now. Second is what? Python is one of the dynamically typed programming language. Dynamically typed programming language. What is meant by this dynamically typed programming language? What is meant by static typed programming language? What is the concept behind that? We are going to discuss that. Each subheading we will discuss and slowly we come to the programming part. Next, I am going to say third is called Python is one of the platform independent language. Platform independent language. Independent language. What is platform independent? What is platform dependent? Dependent means what factors will not satisfy. Independent means what factors will satisfy. And how do you justify that Python is one of the independent programming language? And you have seen one small downloading process also you have seen. The Python software can run on any type of OS. So it is simply saying that it is one of the platform independent. But if we say that, interviewer is not going to feel happy for it. You need to understand, you need to explain one internal point for it. That internal point I will explain in the next discussion itself. There is a subheading, special subheading called what? Platform independent. Next, fourth one is called Python is one of the portable programming language. Portable programming language. What is meant by portable? What is meant by non-portable? I will explain. Listen, first try to understand. Don't write, I will give time for it. Portable. Next, Python is one of the Interpreted programming language. Interpreted programming language. It is an interpreted programming language. What is interpretation? What is compilation? How the Python program is interpreted. During interpretation, what are the steps taking place? With the examples, I will be showing to you. And next, Python is one of the high-level programming language. Python is one of the high-level programming language. What is meant by low-level programming? What is meant by high-level programming? Because of high-level programming in Python, what benefits we are going to get it? Next, seventh one is Python is one of the procedural, that is nothing but what? Functional, and object-oriented programming language. Object-oriented programming language. When I should go for a procedural aspect, when I should go for what? Object-oriented programming language approach. When should I go for procedural approach? When should I go for object-oriented approach? In procedural approach, there is a lot of discussion will be there. We are going to see that kind of discussion in the class. Next, Python is one of the, next is called what, strong programming language. Strong programming language. That is called what? Robust. It's nothing but what? Strong. Python is one of the strong programming language. What is meant by robust and all? We are going to discuss in that. Next, Python is one of the extensible programming language. Extensible. And interrelated to that, one more is called what? Python is one of the embedded programming language. Embedded programming language. What is meant by extensible? What is meant by embedded? We will be discussing. Next, Python is one of the most powerful language. Supports what? Third-party libraries. Third-party APIs. Third-party APIs. In Python we call it as APIs. In other languages we call it as libraries. Libraries, yesterday I told you, C language, header files. Java it is called what? Packages. In Python it is called modules. So what is the third-party APIs which I said yesterday, if you remember? Scikit, if you remember. SciPy. Next is called NumPy. Do you remember, ma? NumPy and Matplotlib, etc. These are all called what? Third-party APIs. These are not the part of what? Python language. But we can install in Python and we can use it. How to install it? By using one tool called what? pip. There is a PIP. Using the tool, we are going to install it. And don't expect that in one day itself, Python totally it is not getting injected. After studying 4 years BTech, we did not get a single job. And we lost our interest on studies also after BTech is over. 90% of the students. So how can you get in 1 hour the total Python? Python is called one of the job-oriented course where we have to understand from the certain standards of the subject. Right? And yesterday we have seen our standards. What is our standards? Even full forms also not having properly. So we start with the different type of explanation in the class from basic level to what? Programmer level. Okay, these are all comes under what? Features of Python. How many features are there? Right. So all those features I will discuss one by one. And most interesting features, most dominant features are there in Python language. Are you able to get my point? Right. Write down, ma. Try to write down this. All the online students are requested to write these points. Features of Python language. After writing that, try to go through it what you have written it. So don't take the pick of it, boss. Try to write it. Try to write it. Want to take? You can take also, no problem. But when you take the pick na, suppose if you go to some beautiful place, you want to take selfie. That time memory is full. Which pick you will remove first? Python, remove. So that is the problem. Use phone for certain purpose. Use books for subject purpose. Anyhow, done. Now, it is a time completed. Completed all of you. So what we learned with this, those who has already written, I will interact with them. What you learned so far? What you learned so far? Applications of Python, real-time applications of Python. And we are not developing now today itself. That is our course duration. We are going to acquaint with perfect programming. I will make you to get it. And there is no doubt in that. 101% guaranteed. Okay, right. Next we understood what? Little historical development of Python language. Which website we need to download? Who is the father of Python? That is enough. How many versions are there? Having backward compatibility or not, that we understood. That is enough, no? We need not to know which time, which place, all these things. Nobody will ask this question also. Right. Now features. There we are learning the technical terminology, all those things. Garbage collector, bytecode, all those stuff. Let us complete it fast. Supports third-party libraries, third-party APIs. After this, before going to the detailed discussion about simple and easy to learn, I would like to take one small point I would like to cover. So Python language inspired from different programming languages. Python language inspired from different programming languages. I just want to go for a small subheading. Actually, I need to go for simple and easy to learn, but I want to cover in this class. What is that? Python language inspired from how many languages? Okay, right. Subheading, please. Python language. All the online students write the subheading. Python language inspired from subheading. So in your lifetime also, some people will be inspired from somebody. Is there any such experiences for you people? Any such inspiration? Anybody else here? And achieved any good goals? No. Maybe is there? Unable to express also. Not an issue. Coming to the point. So first one, Python programming inspired from one of the languages called C. Look at first. Python programming inspired from which language? C language. Which is the best area in C programming? Why C is best for many approaches? Because of functional programming is available. Even Java people, Java is actually called what? Pure object oriented programming. From Java 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 versions, that Python is inspired with what? Functional programming even the present versions. Because in the functions we are talking about filter function, reduce function, map function, which are very, very important in data science, which I am going to explain like anything. And nobody will cover those kind of in-depth discussion about what? Functional programming, which we are going to see. Lambda functions, anonymous functions, lambda with filter, lambda with map, lambda with reduce. We are going to discuss a lot more things. So Python programming is inspired functional programming from which language? From which language? C. C is very rich in providing what? Functions. That is inspired and added a lot of features to it. Look at. Second, Python is inspired from C++ also. C++ also it is inspired. What is that inspiration from C++? Object-oriented principles. Object-oriented principles. Inspired from where? Python. Python is inspired. Object-oriented principles from which language? C++. C++. Right. Next, third if we go, the most important and most powerful, scripting programming language. Scripting programming is inspired from, there is a language called Modulo 3. Modulo 3. This is, 1 minute, sorry, It is called what? Perl. Sorry for it. Perl. And Unix scripting. Have you heard about Unix scripting? Unix you remove. Officially they said that Perl. Perl is one programming language. Perl is one programming language. So scripting language it is. Inspired from where? Perl. Next, last I will write fourth. It is a modular programming language. Modular programming language it is. Modular programming language which is inspired from where? Modulo 3. Modulo 3. This is the 4 programming languages inspired this Python programming language. So it is an integration of different programming languages. C, C++, Perl, Modulo 3. These are all called what? All these language features are present in which language? Python language. That's why Python discussion also little bit vast, little bit small, from basics to where database communication level we are going to enter into that. As on today, which we are seeing the students, which is already going on, which I am seeing from the last few years, even they don't know what number systems also they are not aware of it. Number system conversions also, binary to hexa, hexa to octal, octal to decimal, decimal to that. Because in hackers, rankers, in lead code, these are all called industry used websites for giving the written test questions. So from that basic level to where that type of beautiful coding we are going to move forward. Are you understanding what I am talking? Are you getting or not? Are you realizing first of all? So as on today, according to industry, whether you have basics or not, you only has to decide by yourself. By keeping a hand on the heart, you can ask a question, am I suitable for industry? Your heart will say completely correct answer. Irrespective of your basics, it is a class or it is a time of my classes will make you to go for what? Industry close to it, provided if you completely attend these classes punctually and reading my notes and practicing my sessions. Am I clear? So next we are entering into why Python language is simple and easy to learn. That is our tomorrow's discussion. Because I said 3 important sessions, 3 important small parts. What is that? What is Python? In that some points of it, downloading and all. Second is what? Features of Python. And next, Python is inspired from how many languages? So I am asking one question. Python inspired from how many languages? 4. Number 1, C. Which topic? Functional programming. Don't see the book. Seeing the book and then saying, seeing the book and saying. Don't say it. Inspired from which language? C. What is the topic? Functional programming. Second, C++. What is the feature? Object-oriented principles. Third, come on. Next, Perl. That is called scripting language. Next is what? Modular programming language. That is called what? Modules. Modular programming is done. Am I clear? Yes. So, and features also we are going to learn it. Okay, na? Fine. So we will stop now. Tomorrow's class, we will enter into the sharp 4 o'clock 5 minutes. We'll enter into the class. And don't join late to the class. Okay? Right. Thank you. Good day for all of you.